Let's talk about role-playing. This is one of those interesting ones that means a lot of different things to different people. So again, this is a place that I'm really going to want you guys to be giving your opinions back. If you are members of a role-playing guild, if you enjoy role-playing, it is important for you guys to be calling out the types of tools that you feel like you're missing. I have always been a role player in MMOs. I feel like I'm in a 12-step. I have spent all day walking. I have made my own fun and done my own stuff, but I might not be looking for the same stuff you guys are, especially in a game that is so story-focused and has so much natural role-playing element that's being given to you. So when we are discussing role-playing, let's be clear, we're talking primarily about make your own fun tools. So current state of role-playing. Worlds could use more life and ambience. This is true. Needs more options, more variants, more ways to interact with the world. So legacy features, I went into this a little bit before. As you noticed, one of the first things we threw into there was the family tree. We put in the stuff to do so you could pretend that you were brawling. We put in the role-playing emotes. We put in all that stuff because it was the stuff we had around that were easy wins. Social unlocks, same thing. Alignment unlocks, more stuff to reward you and for you to sort of build characters that are how you always pictured them. Recustomization, we already talked about this. Chat bubbles, yeah, chat bubbles. So this is one of those weird, like, there are things, and you can always tell from our faces when we talk about it, there are things that are just kind of embarrassing. Like, we had chat bubbles in the game, and for whatever reason, there was a really strange technical thing with the chat bubbles that they totally dragged the performance of the game down. We were like, chat bubbles? Really? That's what's doing it? And you know, tech came over and turned off the chat bubbles and frame rate went way up and we were like, oh God, okay. So we think we've got that worked out though. So chat bubbles, yes. More orange gear with viability at endgame. This is something you're gonna see pretty soon. We're not talking about exactly how we're gonna do it, but all those people are like, why would I wear this? It's light. What we wanted to do was find a solution that would take care of that without, let's say, having to put thousands and thousands of new items in the game. So we think we've got a solution for that. You're gonna come see soon. I tend to play a heavy tank, so, you know, I also want to wear my ridiculous sand person outfit while I'm in the endgame stuff. Yeah, wear what you want, whenever you want. The events team. I'm not sure why this is on the role-playing slide. As James has completely not told you about, there's an events team and we're completely not talking to you about what they're doing. So there you go, role-playing. Apparently they're server-wide limited time events though. Improved spawning tech. So one of the things you may have already noticed is quite near the end of development, we perfected our lightweight spawners, which are, you know, you see NPCs out in the world you can't click on? That's what those guys are. And they actually vary up and down dynamically with how good your system is and how many it can draw in one place. So if you're chugging in an area or if there's a ton of player characters, you're not seeing a lot of them. What we didn't get a chance to do was populate as many of the areas as well as we would like to. So there are some places that really feel alive and really feel dynamic and there's a lot of stuff going on, and then there's places that don't. So we're gonna go through and do some of that. More ambient creatures, more sense that you're actually in there. For me, that's we're kind of blending concepts here. We're kind of talking world immersion as well as role playing, because that's not really the same thing. I don't, you know, like most of you, like I don't need that to role play. More moving parts everywhere, so it's going to feel better. Yeah, yes, there are chairs that you can sit in. But no, there already are now. I don't know if you found them. The ship up in the VIP lounge for those of us who you know, spend our time. The problem was they came in late and we didn't get to go back and replace all the old chairs. So future chairs will always be sittable, things to look forward to in the future. Legacy, how does it affect role players? Future content, what would you like to see? So this is the big one. This is the big one that I would really like to hear for this queue. Like, if you've got questions, ask. That's great. But I would love to hear from the role players out there. What are the things that you feel like you need to see in game?
I have the pad, so throw them at us.
Damien will be taking notes.
Warren from the PHM Dark Reaper server, and what we would really like to see are a different kind of mount, maybe beasts, tauntauns, dewbacks, something other than speeders.
And what would you role play with your new animal friend? All right, no answer on that. So not roleplay specific, but definitely on the list.
Hey, how's it going? One of the biggest concerns that my guild has is not only the variety of clothing, but perhaps clothing that is not restricted by an armored type. The fact that like a Jedi Sage or a Consular can't wear a leather jacket because it's medium armor really limits what they're allowed to wear short of running around in robes all day. Any development on that?
Yeah, so that's sort of what I hinted at for this one. And again, I can't talk to you, but in the future, all cosmetic gear should work for all types, and we'll be getting a ton more of it.
Hello. I would like to see custom emotes enabled across faction. So that way when you're role playing in Nar Shaddaa or something, when you use your custom emote, they can see it on the Empire side if you're Republic. And perhaps reducing the say range so that if you're on one side of the cantina, you can't hear the people role playing on the other side. Because when there's 40 people in there, it gets a little hard to read, especially without chat bubbles, trying to figure out what you're saying.
So yeah, the custom emote is very simple to implement. There's not a lot of reason not to do it, right, because you can already see the say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay, no, you're right. The say is already there, so they can already just tell you what horrible thing they're going to do to you.
It's a say in orange color.
Yeah. Okay. No. Cleared. And the say is a good note.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi. I don't actually play on an RP server, but over here.
Everybody can RP, whether or not you're on an RP server.
No, exactly. But we have a couple of guys who like to kind of dress. People who'd like to dress up. I don't want to say guys. In different outfits.
You watch it, sir.
One of them specifically wanted me to ask this question. He's a Type 4 Sith, big red guy. Type 4 body Sith, and he would like a equivalent of a male, like a slave outfit.
Hillary, are you back there, honey? So
slave outfit.
Somebody on our staff here has a significant other who apparently consistently asks for our male slave gear outfit. It's coming, folks. It's coming.
Is there a way to re-enter the class quest areas that we have done?
Oh, is there a way to enter the class quest areas? So you say, oh, hey, here's this great space we had. Can I go and use that space? Unfortunately not, because the triggers tend to be incredibly complicated, and a lot of the times they are spaces we will use again for some reason. So if you do not have the piece on it. Although what I will put there is that we probably should set aside some good, interesting, different varieties of straight RP space that would cover some of those same areas.
Hi, I'm a member of Malum Factum. We're a pretty hardcore roleplay guild, and one of the things that really annoys our members is seeing people like Dude of the Bro Legacy riding around on their speeders in circles in Fleet. Is there anything you can do about a stricter naming policy or something to that effect?
So one of the issues around the naming policy, especially for something like Star Wars, where people are named Girl on Two Fingers in canon, and Jasper McKnives, is that the one, naming police is an incredibly hard thing to do in an MMO anyway, right? On an MMO this size, almost an impossibility besides profanity and that stuff. The other thing for Star Wars is that it's a more modern setting and people are named ridiculous stuff. You know, we have people in our world that change their names to just completely ludicrous stuff. What I am trying to work on is more ways to adjust what you see in other people's nameplates. So, maybe I don't want to see your silly guild. Maybe I don't want to see your silly legacy. Damien won't ever give me my ignore all server button. So we'll have to go piecemeal on this one.
But yeah, and one of the key things about naming policies is that, what's acceptable to me might not be acceptable to you. And so coming up with concrete, fair rules is incredibly, incredibly difficult to do. A lot of people might have no problem with Sculdylocks, but it bugs the hell out of me.
You brought up ambient, the little plays that sometimes go on in cities, and some of those get stale pretty quickly. If there, was a more variety of ambient content, especially in busy areas, a day-night cycle might help with that. So you're not going by the same guy who's doubled over in an alley outside the nightclub every single time you're going by in a speeder. Probably the biggest thing.
There are those guys.
Yeah, they got to go home sometime. But probably the biggest thing that I find as an obstacle is when role players are really attached to their guild, but they want to participate with your guild in most of your events. If there was some way to have like a squad system within your guild so that there's small communities actually within your guild, and this isn't just a role-playing feature, but for raiding guilds, they could have their raiding teams organized, or people who have been identified with a specific sort of RP event might have their clique identified within a sub group within the guild.
What do you feel what do you feel that squad needs that it can't do now with, say, a private chat channel?
That's a good question, but private chat channels a lot of people don't feel the same sort of identity around it. They want to participate as part of the guild, but they don't want to leave their old sort of guild identity behind. I've been a part of a guild that another guild wanted to merge with us, but that guild ultimately decided that they couldn't give up that identity if we'd had the ability to create a squad of those guys so that they could still be the Insomnia crew or whatever.
Cool. Next.
Hi, I have two things. Don't worry, one of them's very quick. I'm in a roleplay guild, and one thing that our guild has really wanted is to be able to cut and paste the chat logs so we can post it on our forums and continue the stories offline. Small thing to do would be really, really awesome. The second item is regarding the legacy system. As an altaholic and a role player, I have characters of all species. They are not related. They know each other sometimes they don't. Is there any way to kind of not game is the wrong word, but to implement the legacy system in such a way that goes along with characters that aren't blood relatives?
Oh yeah, in fact, in the family tree thing, it has stuff for allies, for nemesis, for adopted children, for all sorts of crazy stuff.
And they're not all going to have the same last name?
Well, they're all going to have the legacy tag, and that's the thing is, and that's why we give you the ability to display it as a legacy tag instead of a last name, or just turn it off entirely per character, right?
I see. Okay, thank you.
The question that I really had was, as far as it goes on the legacy last name on there, a lot of people when they're doing the RP like to, such as myself, like to RP with another person that they met in their guild as like a brother or something like that. And because we can't have the same, legacy name, was there any plans on maybe opening that up to where you can, create a brother, or in some instances, some people like to say that this is my child,
Oh yeah. Children, wives, siblings, all that. So that one had come up a little bit earlier. So we definitely love the idea of being able to attach other players into your legacy. It's going to be a ways out before we figure out how to do it.
But that particular thing would be something we would try to do as part of that system. But it's a little trickier because not only do you have to institute the marriage or the name kin, but you also have to have the divorce function as well. And so. And
then we got space lawyers and space alimony. Ooh, crew skills. Yes, I will train up a space lawyer.
With our guild, we're not a role-playing guild, but we love some of the lines that our characters say in cinematics. We were just wondering if there's a way to have canned emotes that in the world, as we just use them, have our characters kind of spit off some one-liners here and there.
That was actually something that was right in the original plans. Big passion of one of our friends over here. And yes, you'll absolutely see more of the role-play emotes come, and more of them actually come with lines.
From a roleplay perspective, talking about companion characters, just a few quick things. I'd really like to see the ability for companion characters to ride along in taxis, because there's that shotgun there and they just jump into the trunk and then back out of the trunk. More importantly, I think that it would be nice to have the ability to name a companion for RP purposes, because having 10,000 Alara Dorns or Kira whatever is running around, being able to say, this is my Padawan, her name is such, and have that actually show up would be fantastic.
Good feedback. We actually had there was an original design for both taxis and I think mounts at one point for the companion characters, and then the writers unfortunately kept making more and more bizarre companion characters, and at about the point where 4X showed up, the guys building the taxis went still something we'd like to do in the future though.
Okay, we are going to take a couple of questions from our live stream. Over to Eric.
All right, so I'll start it off without a question, but actually a suggestion from Xanthio that he thinks that for our peers, Ignore should also turn off the player's nameplates.
Love it. Damien, argue with me.
No.
Okay. Love it. I've always tried to convince them. The combat guys are constantly telling me why it doesn't make sense to just turn the player off. But apparently that's not feasible. Nameplates it is. That would be a great solution, sir, for your dude killer on your mom issue for somebody's nameplate. / ignore them, their nameplate disappears, they're just another NPC hopping around pantsless.
All right, the next question comes from, the first question comes from Avowin. Regarding companions who my character feels that they are at odds with, or if I feel that a particular companion has no place on my ship or team, do we have any option to remove that companion from the story?
Oh, this was from a long time back. So no, we did punt on this one for a very long time. You could kill companions. And what turned out is that killing companions was fun. So people tended to do it. And not having a companion who filled a vital slot was not fun. And then people were very angry. So the amount of CSR requirements that this would have involved, as we constantly got people saying, hey, I killed my companion and now they're dead and now I can't play the game, meant we had to back off on that one, and it's not going to be a route we go back down. I am so up for that, and I know we have it. If we are allowed to do that, if anybody really wanted to see Quinn bite the dust, spoiler behind.
What if we gave you a social item to permanently, well, not permanently, temporarily carbonize your companion? Would that help?
Sold, Mr. Zoller.
All right, this one is more of a suggestion than a question, but Declan Hollis says, I would like to see a biography / physical description / profile page in the character sheet to help with role playing.
Are you going to Are you going to break that to Adi?
Love it. So this is one of those things that we're always trying to find new ways to save data more efficiently. We have one of the most complicated MMOs that's ever been done because you are actually carrying your multiple amounts of companion characters and yourself all as fully vested characters, all with a huge amount of quest data on them. For people who finished your Jedi Knight and seen things come back that happened that you did on Tython, that we had to follow you around the entire time, to where it's been to the point where things like comments on friends, which I think we either got back or I know is coming back. 1.2, hey, you get to comment on friends again. Hey, I like that guy. Hey, I don't like that guy. I don't know why he's on my friends list. This is one of those things that when we get the ability to save a whole bunch of individually decided text very easily, I'd love to do. It's a huge part of role playing, and then I want to click on you and read your grammatically incorrect story.
All right, last question from the live stream comes from Trestkin. I guess this is a question/suggestion. As far as mounts go, will we see the possibility for a 2-seater mount for a driver and a passenger to play together?
Would love to. And we touched a little bit on, we absolutely like the idea of having your companions there, and we'd love to be able to put other players there, but it's way down the road. I want my Tauntaun first.
You're getting a Tauntaun pet in 1.2.
Can I ride the pet? Don't answer that. We end up all the way down this guy's route at this point.
I think we came full circle with that last answer. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up here on the role-playing discussion. Again, an attempt to keep us moving right along. And we are going to move straight into our guild features discussion with Mr. Damian Schubert.